Hey there, folks. I'm Isaac,
And I'm Brandon.
and we're here to bring you another hard-hitting, hot take session. This time it's the Spires. I guess I should have introduced the game that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Conquest: Last Argument of Kings. It's going to be in the YouTube title. If you've gotten this far in the process of like finding a YouTube video to watch and started watching and like you didn't know vaguely what you were going at, yeah, it's the Spires hot takes video. Brandon, you play Spires.
This is probably going to be the best one for me. Like Nords, I used to
Yeah,
play a lot, but
you've
there's a lot of
recently played
changes.
Spires.
Nords, I played the last few events, including a world event at Captain Con.
Whoa, a world event? Were you the
Correct.
champion?
I was 7th out of 12, so no.
Oh, hey, you
But
weren't last.
some of the things that I noticed were changed since we played back then, and I can talk about why my list I think would have been a little bit better, and some of the hot takes on some of the new changes that I think are hopefully going to make the silly list that I ran even better or a little bit more competitive, as well as some new things that have come out. I'm also going to posit that when we talk about these, we do not talk about unreleased models because some of the rules are so far off that they get changed. I'm going to posit that we should talk about Desolators, even though they've in the past.
They're about to come out.
They're about to come out, and sometimes they do last-minute changes, but I think we're close enough that it's good to talk about them and what we think, if we think there's a hot take with those units. Sound like good?
Yes.
Rules of engagement? Okay, cool.
The ROE, the rules of engagement, yeah.
Army rules. Spires, they get the ability to select one of these multiple different rules, which define how the army plays.
The one that I played at the last event was the Superior Creation, which is you can only get if you're a Lineage Highborn or High Clone Executioner. This gets run a lot because people like High Clone Executioners. Superior Creation, when selecting regiments of any Lineage Highborn or High Clone Executioner's Warband, you may increase the cost by 5. If you do, you get
5 per stand.
5 per stand. Sorry, thank you. You increase the clash to 1 to a maximum of 3. This is only applies during list, but whatever. So like what I like about this is it's just simple to play because your things just get a little bit better, and like Avatar and other things in these units just and Vanguard clones get better at clash, and you don't have to figure out when the right time to overburn or anything like that. So like it just makes your guys a little bit better for a slight cost. That's why I ran it. So it does what it does on the box, but I don't think it's super 4D chess. I'm gonna actually go to the Underspire just because it's easiest to explain, and then we'll go to the big one. So the Underspire is basically running Crappling drones, Ferromancer only. While the Warlord is on the battlefield, all your base drones and Strix gain regeneration 4. I actually think there's juice here because we'll get later, but like brute drones are really good. And
What is a base drone?
So base drone is like force drone, onslaught drones, and brute drones.
Okay, so not a desolation drone.
Not a desolation.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
But Strix don't even have drone in the name, so what's going on there? Can we talk about that?
We should.
Para Bellum?
Yeah.
Para Bellum. Strix drone. It's that easy.
There you go.
Let's go.
I like this. So I like this because they each just get regen 4, which makes them annoying. Strix specifically are an annoying unit that when I was playing at the event, they well outlasted their stay. Like everyone thought they'd immediately die. They were annoying to kill because they just ruined you would attack them, then I would just do wounds back on you. And if every turn they just regen 4, it would just be hilarious. But like I think the big thing on this, if you run this director is brute drones are good, and bringing 1 back a turn is good. So the big thing that had to change, as well as the one with the most words, is I guess the director is this one, which is personalized epigenic triggers. While this warlord is on the battlefield, which it has to be a Biomancer or High Clone Executioner, so the High Clone Executioner can take one of this or the Master Touch. This regiment on the warlord on the battlefield, all regiments in your army gain the Burnout Draw event. However, 1 regiment may resolve the Burnout event each round. Regiments that already have Burnout Draw events as part of the army ignore this limitation. So,
Burnout good.
Burnout is good, but you have to have a galaxy brain, and this is why I didn't run this at the last event, because if you burn out when it's not impactful, you just end up taking damage to not really get huge impact. But if you really know good game state and when to take the damage from burnout to get the bonus, I think this is the most powerful. It's just like when I was playing before the event, I was making bad choices with burnout, so I went with the Sovereign Lineage just because it was easy.
You think it's the most powerful, and we've only gone over 1/3 of its abilities.
That's
insane.
Okay, I will explain. I will make it. I like running the Siege Beast, and the Siege Beast is not super fast. And as you've pointed out many times, being able to burn out and get that extra distance and get places where people don't expect you to go, I think is very powerful. So that's in a game where movement and flanking is important. This gives you the option to kind of get a little bit more juice. And if you use it in the right moment, it's good. So that's why I like this.
Yes.
In addition, all biomancers in this army have access to the following biomancies, which is subdermal keratin induction, which is target-friendly light regiment within 12 inches. Changes class to medium until end of the round. The biomancer can only perform this once per round, regardless of the number of biomancers in the army. This is good because, as we covered in the April update, well, I mean, this has been around for a while, but medium things score.
Yeah. What's crazy about I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Before we talk about whether it's good or bad or whatever, I want to talk about this. The lore for this. Okay. So first of all, we got to talk about what light regiment means. Light regiment means like scouts, basically, effectively, like combat doctrine wise, light. Like they don't have heavy weapons, they don't have like lots of armor or something.
So it means scouts,
medium,
or like untrained soldiers,
or
like
untrained soldiers,
which is like the force grown drones, which is things that were grown in like a day or two. They were crapped out. They don't have the experience. They're just disposable, not really great at doing much.
Yeah,
just getting in the way of things. Yeah.
Okay. And then medium represents more of like a regular soldier, like your frontline, battle line soldier.
Mainstay, like not an elite soldier, not always an elite soldier, but someone who's trained, who can impact the thing, who can stand the length of time. Yeah.
Keratin, I'm pretty sure, is the material that toenails are made out of. So basically what's happening is subdermal means under the skin. Induction is, I don't know. So anyways, they grow toenails under their skin, and that makes them from scouts / untrained to regular soldiers, but like it doesn't change stats at all. It doesn't give them better defense. It doesn't give them more wounds. It doesn't give them better clash. Like it gives nothing that like the medium class, like this is so far abstracted away from any form of lore. Like the name could just be Shablinky, and it would mean exactly as much as it does. Like this is a pure mechanical thing going on. Like there is no lore happening. It's just your unit can score now. That's literally.
I think a lot of horns are made out of keratin. So like if you wanted to tie words to impact, like
but like how does that make you?
No, that's what I'm saying. If you gave them like what's it called, the impact, right? Like they all grow things and you smash into them, or your defense goes up, and as a consequence of that, you
like +1 defense and medium. I don't know. I feel like you could tie in some kind of theme to make to the ability, but like mechanically, sure. All right,
mechanically it's good. I just want to say
mechanically it's good. Having a unit suddenly be score, Strix can score. Why not? Why not?
In the end of the game, when you got a 6 Strix left that you're never going to do anything with because that's not enough to tie something up, have it go back to an objective if you can just snake
it. Or no, I mean turn two, your Strix move up, get on to the point. Your biomancer came in with force-grown drones. You're exactly 12 inches away. Now you've got a scoring unit. Boom. Turn 2 scoring. Why not? Yeah. Okay. Wydron still can't do that. All right. Adrenal Surge. I'm going to talk about Adrenal Surge. This one, you unbreak a unit within 12 inches.
The other two are really impactful.
It can be impactful if you use it right, but like
the other ones are boring. Yeah.
Yes, it's not fun.
But I think the important one here is
it's good, but it's not.
Correct, exactly. Is you take this for the burnout. I think the scoring is like one of the things that was actually hiddenly really good, just because you can do things. I don't think.
I don't know. Strix that score.
I don't think people hate the Strix. Even other Spire players hate the Strix. I think everyone knows I think the models are so. We'll get to it when we get to the.
Okay, yeah, let's talk. Well, when we talk about units, but right now we're talking about army rules, and we just finished with that. So let's move on.
Let's move
swiftly. I've got a time limit here. I'm fighting allergies with my life. You may have noticed if I successfully edited all the coughs out, like you'll just see me look off to the side and like my body shake. That's because allergies have destroyed my lungs, and I'm still fighting through it for you all. If I failed as an editor, you still hear the coughs.
Trying the best we can. Biomaster's ability. I'm gonna cover the two that I care about. I don't think we have to go through all of them. They all do stuff, but the ones you're gonna see everyone take is High Clone Executioner's Coordinated Assault. Once per battle, you get to draw when you draw your first command card of your steps, you instead can resolve 3. This is very important because if you use it at the right time, you get the uninterrupted sequences to do the things you need to do. So you can set up these big charges, you can grab objectives, you can totally like get multiple charges and kill something because your opponent cannot interrupt because you're doing 3 actions all at once. Very powerful in a game with alternating activations to do 3 things all at once. Something you see a lot in competitive play. This is what I ran at the event.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
If we're stepping away from like pure
we can
optimal,
yeah.
I like proximity sensors because it means that you don't even need to try to catch up to the Strix.
Oh, that's true. Because
you can just
YOLO it,
make them score no matter what objective zone they're on, and that's fun.
That's actually really good.
And I would also like to pose the question: has anyone ever taken a Ferromancer Warlord? If you have, comment below. And now I'm ready to move on.
Oh, I was gonna say, Legacies of the Ark is cool because you can really tank out a Lineage Highborn, and there was a model that kind of nicely represented it that people bought that you can't really play because it's so
big.
It's so big and it's so spindly. But I think it's a trap, which is like we talked about another army.
It encourages you to spend more points on one character model. Character models aren't worth spending points on. People.
Not that much. Yeah, little things. So I think it sounds cool, but when you get into it, I think it's actually it's a trap. So there you go. Ferromancer no one actually takes. Cool.
As a warlord, no.
Not as a warlord. Yeah, you take it just to bring line troops.
Biomancers, their interesting thing is that they can heal, and they have biomancies, like unstable enhancement. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people take these. I took this in my list to heal things, and it's nice because you can even throw the heal on big boys. Like I threw this on my... even bigger than that. You can throw it on
Abominations? Siege Beast. Oh.
That's what I was doing to keep them around a little bit longer. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, I like this. When we get this to the biomancies, I think we'll cover those in greater detail, right? And then like in general, this has a good set of things to hire. So
I don't know.
Incarnate Sentinels are good.
Yeah, but like I feel like they're better in high
clones.
I feel like Incarnate Sentinels are better in a Lineage Highborn's warband with specifically superior creations because it brings them from Clash 2 to Clash 3 for 5 extra points. I don't think they're really worth taking in a Biomancer warband.
The Spire player placed higher than me did that, I think, at Captain Con.
Screw me.
Yeah, I mean...
High Clone Executor. You are going to take him for his Warlord Supremacy ability, and you're also going to take him because Loose Formation means that you win shootouts. When you put this guy in with Vanguard Clone Infiltrators or Marksman Clones, I guess, is also an option. You win shootouts.
Yep, that's how most people run them. The other thing to note is that they can take Desolation Drones, which are also another range unit with Loose Formation. It kind of will tier up like that. And the way it works is when you're Loose Formation, you take half so many wounds or hits. So that makes it...
Well, half as many attacks.
Attacks, yeah, sorry, they get half as many attacks. So like in a range fight, it makes you more likely. You also get to take 2 the Tactics, which is the Suppress Pain, which is you gain Bastion events, the Regiment, the Nervous System, which is this character regiment is attached to, gains double time event, and the last one is Regiment is attached to gains Loose Formation. You will 99.9% take this as first because that's what you want to do.
Well, you will 100% of the time take Disperse, and then there are arguments that I could see for either Suppress Pain or Overtaxed Nervous System, although I think Suppress Pain probably is heavily favored.
That's the one I took, so you got the draw event, but I actually...
Because it makes you extra win shootouts.
Correct.
It gives you +1 defense, and they take half as many shots.
With objective scoring, I think the obvious answer is Bastion, but I actually think Double Time might be good because you get extra move is always good.
I think Double Time is good if you're doing some kind of Desolation Drone jank, which we'll talk more about that later.
Get down. Makes sense. Lineage Highborn, so it's the big monster of the group. It's the big brute monster. I think you take this mainly because you want to take it's what it brings with it, which is its only mainstay is Avatar, which is more brutes. And then you can, from here, I think this is the only place you can get Centaur Avatar, as well as Isaac pointed out earlier, you can run Incarnate Sentinels, where if you pick the Superior Creation, you can bump them up for 5 points per stance. They're Clash 3, which makes them really good.
Yeah.
I like this because this is how I was able to get 2 Siegebreaker Behemoths in my list for Captain Con.
You can also take Siegebreaker with Biomancers, right?
I don't think so. Biomancer.
Oh,
Not
wait. Is there anyone else that can take Siegebreakers?
Ferromancer's. Well, let's go check.
Okay.
This is a great segue. No, yeah, you can only take with Avatar.
High clones can't? Really? It's only Avatara?
Yeah.
Oh,
Only Avatar.
that's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess I assumed that you could do it in more than one, but
That's why I got it. I took 2 things with Avatar, which are good units. We'll talk about them later.
Ferromancers be crazy. Not as your warlord,
Yes.
but like between their pheromone, like their actions that they have and their pheromancies, I think that they're kind of nutty. The induced lethargy, where it's -1 to defense characteristic to an enemy regiment, that's pretty good. +1 to march or resolve is okay to an ally. Like it could help with. Is it? Okay, yeah, you could do it to Siegebreakers to compensate for the speed a little.
Yep.
But yeah, induced lethargy. If you're within range with it, if you're within 10 inches, why not?
I used this in one of my games as I was list building on the way up to Captain Con 2 on brute force-grown drones, right? Like force-grown drones don't really kill much, but like if you can reduce the enemy's defense by 1, it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's equivalent to having AP1. So, and you can use it in combat. So yeah, they get a lot of abilities, and they also
And it affects like for like you could have multiple units. So like you could shoot at them and then force-grown drones charge in and for
yes,
it's -1 defense. So that's pretty nutty.
So that's the reason you take exactly, because he kind of does a little bit like combat buffing or interactions, and he has good spells too. But we'll get to those
we'll talk about those. And Strix's mainstay. Why not?
Yes, why not? Then the last one, which is kind of a unique character, just because it's a character that you take. It's like a character like you take like a warlord, but can't be a warlord. It's the mimetic assassin is just there to join in with another group and just kill stuff dead. So it's got like really good combat stats. It's got quick strike, quicksilver strike. It's got flurry. It's got all the right things. The right place, right time is the ability for it to join. It
pops on.
Between any regiment, which is good. So I haven't run this guy. I like this guy in concept, so I think it's a really cool way, because 2 of your main characters are just not combat characters. So like Biomancers and Ferromancers are just not really, like, you don't want them there. So like having the mimetic assassin who can kind of jump around and kind of threat things in melee, I think is a cool design space. Is it good? I've never seen anyone run it.
Character upgrades.
I'm trying. So
Ferromantic override.
I was gonna say that's the one that so this is really good. You can only put on Lineage Highborn, and this draw event can only be resolved once per battle, and then you pick a character within 6, and then that unit can do a free additional out-of-sequence action of Clash, Volley, or March. This does not count as them activating. I use this extensively at Captain Con because I could get my Siegebreakers to do another attack, and especially back then when they had less attack characteristics, you needed as many attacks to get things dead. Or even on a big block of Avatar, it's really nice to get stuff happening. So like, it's a very nice to get an additional activation in the game. Really good. I like it.
The rest of the upgrades, I don't know how you feel, but I kind of feel like they're like there's a bunch of them that are nice to have. Like there's a bunch of fun ones that you won't feel bad about taking, but I don't think that there's anything else that's like you should take this in your list. Like you're most likely going to be bringing like some kind of ranged buff to your Clone Executor.
I was going to say the one that I would cover because people do this is I thought it was Burrow Parasite. Is whichever one that is it the Hive or something. It's the one that gives your range. It's the Biometric Hive. The character saying gains +2 barrage and deadly shot special skill. It can only be applied to characters that already have a barrage special ability.
Which means that you have to take Infiltrator variant in order to do it. So that's 60 points, and you get 5 rapid volley, 14 inch.
Yeah, so I see people do stuff like that to get the shots, but like you said, I don't think there's anything here that is like Sorry,
must have.
besides the Pheromantic Override, which is extremely
If you're taking a lineage
power.
Highborn, I think that you take that.
Oh,
every
100%.
time.
Especially like if you take big boy, like the Incarnate Sentinels, like if you're bringing a big hammer, like get an out of sequence attack, right? Or move. Amazing. Everything else is pretty good. I think the one thing you have to watch out for is there's a lot of ways to stack Aura of Death. That's one thing I noticed, which is cool, but
Just don't spend too much points.
that's the problem that I think you have to worry about is there's a lot of
Oh, here's what you do.
the sauce.
You turn yourself into a brute, and then you give Cascading Degeneration to brute drones.
Oh, the Avatar
So that they have
projection.
Aura of Death. Yeah, you have Avatar Projection and Aura of Death 4 on the brute drones. Wait, that gives Aura of Death 4 to the regiment that you've joined, right? Scroll up.
Yeah, sorry, which one? The general.
Right there. The regiment, yeah. So, boom, yeah. Brute drones with Aura of Death 4 seems nice.
Yeah.
But you have to take Avatar Projection to do that. But.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, so Avatar Projection, you can put on Biomancer and Ferromancer to make them a brute, so then they can join the brute drones, Incarnate Sentinels, all that, and you can kind of unlock some of the janky stuff, which is cool. They did release a special edition model as their first one, so like a few people have it. I'm lucky enough to be one of them, so like I think the people who have it probably run it. Otherwise, you could proxy, but it is cool because it takes one of these units and lets you run it in a very different way. So I think that's interesting because then you unlock all these awesome upgrade options, like Isaac is saying. Yeah. Oh, they also have some dueling actions, and I just want to let you know, no matter how many combat upgrades and mutations you put on a Firemancer or a Biomancer, it will never hang. It will never hang. It'll die immediately.
He's lying,
Not,
folks.
No.
A Ferromancer can duel, and it's good to. You should accept every duel as a Ferromancer. That's just facts. Every Ferromancer should accept every duel at all times. All right, let's move on. Oh, geez, masteries. It's more. It's the same situation where it's just like I don't see any.
There's none here that I don't even think I
must-haves. There's no must-haves.
There's not must-have.
Like, oh, okay. Plague Lord. Give your character Aura of Death 6. All right. Okay. And then also give it the thing where the regiment gets Aura of Death 4, which it itself is like overlapping a little bit because you only get the 4 or the 6. But okay. Let's talk about Ferromancies.
Yeah. So I guess the one I took is when performing. So synaptic coordination is pretty good because when you perform the biotic renewal, which is a Biomancer ability, instead of rolling the d6 to determine, you always heal standard 4 or brutes 3. So that is nice because it adds some consistency. So that I actually have played with.
Yeah.
And it's good if you want to letting, like, if your army's based around some amount of regeneration or healing mechanics, like not relying on a d6 roll is nice.
Yep. Ferromancies, we're going to talk about those. They all have a certain set of restrictions. So all of them are 12-inch range. So it's not spelled out as like all Ferromancies are like this. It's every Ferromancy just has the text that you have to be within 12 inches. And they all work. You draw a command card.
Yes.
If it's within range, you do something with it. Most of the time, it's put it on the bottom of the stack, right? Correct. Or all Ferromancies are put it on the bottom of the stack. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I think so. And one thing I want to say is I know we.
Oh no, except for Ferromantic Drive.
A few things we've kind of mentioned these, or I've mentioned these as spells. They are not spells.
They don't get interference.
They don't get interference. They don't roll. It's a draw event ability they activate.
Yeah. So like, accelerated hibernation. Yep. You just put it on the bottom and it heals wounds. Can be useful.
Yep.
Induced vigor. You put it on the bottom and it's tenacious and rerolls morale of 6. So tenacious is it takes 1 less damage every time it's attacked effectively. The layout. Look at Ferromantic Compulsion. Tell me if you can read that.
Okay. Draw your next command card.
Okay, he can read it. Okay. To me, it's unreadable because of the dark background and the dark text and like the pattern.
Yeah, I think it's also because of the angle.
Oh, it could be the angle.
As the monitor.
All right.
Garbage. But you can help us by using code Table It at Conquest where you buy your next models.
And we'll use it to buy a new monitor from the eShop.
Exactly. Yeah, so this is the one that you draw the event cards and before the resolves, the regiment loses broken status. So like if you have the firm.
But it gains inspired.
It does. Yes, that's true.
Ooh. That's okay. Yeah.
The accelerated hibernation is what I use, and if you use that, and then I had the ability where the guy healed next to her with a draw event, so like I could be like,
You could do a lot of healing.
this guy heals 3, and then I do this, and there's two things to. So obviously, the thing that's hard about these abilities is you have to stack your deck correctly because you have to sequence that after the next card is going to be the card you want to cast this on, and then you also want that unit that you do this to be at the bottom, right? So like you kind of have to plan out how to use this, or what you'll do is you'll be like accelerate hibernation and be like, oh, the wrong thing is there, or my siege beast is now healed, but now I have to do 3 other activations before I get to the end of the stack to actually do something. So you just have to be aware there is a cost here, but if you can lay things out and sequence it correctly, these are really powerful and uninterruptible ways to do stuff.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you double Ferromancy? Is there an upgrade to do that?
Yeah.
That might be a must-have.
There is combat, mastery of flesh. This mastery can be purchased with more than one character. The character's hands may perform 2 character actions per. In addition, the character will resolve 2 Ferromancies.
Master of Flesh. Here's the meme. Here's the dream.
Yes.
You're at the end of your stack. Scroll back down, please.
Yes.
You're at the end of your stack. You siphon strength. You give her a regiment +1 attack and dread. And then, it's the only thing in the stack. It goes on the bottom, and then you activate Ferromantic Drive, and you draw that card, and now you get to double Clash or whatever, and double with +1 action, attack, and dread. Yeah, that's the meme. Is it worth 40 points? And like the amount of setup, like it's never going to actually happen.
I will say this, at Captain Con, I tried to make this work by double healing, and it wasn't worth it. It took so much stuff I could not get this to work. I'm not saying there are people who can't, but the problem is like, you either have to put things so late in the activation so you can do this double heal. And I tried this with my Siege Beast, and you know what? It was killed before it was my turn to double heal.
It happens.
And it would have been better if I just activated top of the stack, put the 4 from the Hibernate on it, and then like worked my way around to it later.
Yeah.
It would have survived. So like I think it's one of those things that it works best when there's a few targets for you, so that you don't have to. You have options of buffing a lot of things within 12 inches or double stacking something if that makes more sense. I was at a situation where I had one thing within 12 because I was trying to keep my Siege Beast alive, and because I paid the 40 points, I was like, I paid 40 points to cast two Ferromancies, or whatever. I like, let's make use out of it, and then I just fucked it up.
Screwed it up.
I was hoping you'd edit in like a dice roll.
I might if I remember. All right.
So next we're on to Biomancies. Very similar to Ferromancies. It's just a different school of flesh mending mastery. I don't know.
Yep.
So these ones are. I'm trying to figure out which ones I've run.
Unstable enhancement is like burnout.
Yeah, it's the one that gets.
It's effectively burnout.
Correct. Yeah.
But it also affects volley.
Which is where it's really good.
Yeah, so you can unstable enhancement your Vanguard clone infiltrators, and they shoot a lot. Yeah. Deadly blades and deadly shot also can be interesting if you set it up right. What is essence transfer again? That one. Exchange the bottom with this regiment's command card. That regiment then acts. Okay, cool. So yeah, you draw your next card. Yeah, that's pretty interesting if you set it up with like Ferromancies. You can
where
do
you
some
put
weird
stuff back
with...
and then you pull it back to the top.
Yeah.
The problem is the 12-inch range. So like I feel like depending on the mission, like if you're playing on the short sides I feel it's good to keep everything within 12.
Yeah.
But if you're playing the long sides against each other, the problem is your entire army is in the center, or you get in these weird situations where it's like, I want to Ferromancy to heal these guys. I want the Biomancers here, so I can't bring it back to the top. You know what I mean? Like you kind of.
I mean,
you get the
just general strategy wise, like you can pick 1 or 2 units that like you need the support of the character from. Like you don't need to try to keep it so that your entire army benefits at all times. Is that how you play? No wonder you got 7th place. You're like, oh, every single model must be within 12 inches of my. Come on, man.
Because I'm a child.
You don't need infinite options at all times. You can pick specific things that you're going to support.
But I did. Those 2 things are called siege.
Yes, exactly. And then the force-grown drones or whatever, they can go off and die in the corner of the
Which
board.
they did. I would have
And you should not feel the temptation to be like, oh man, if only I could have healed those
They
guys.
have my caster. That's the problem. When they go, he goes.
Why did... Okay. Moving swiftly on. We're done talking about biomancies. Let's talk about regiments. Force-grown
Oh, the
drones.
one thing I was going to say, I think if you take the Biomancer special ability where anything on an objective comes within the range, couldn't you then cast these? I think you can cast these.
Yeah.
So that's actually one way where you can have a spread out arm, but still get the benefit of this. So.
But then you lose
the other,
triple activate.
correct. Yeah, that's so good.
Okay. Force-grown drones. They're 90 points. They're 3 attacks. They're support 2. Take 9 of them. They also have a special rule? Yeah, they always use the highest resolve regardless of like what's happening. I don't know if it's intended that dueling now breaks that. I think because it says even when broken, that could be read as just an example. I wonder what the actual ruling is. But anyways, yeah, you take 9 of them.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're
a character bunker.
Yeah, they're not really great at killing things, but you take so many with support that they're fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Catabolic node is a meme. You can blow yourself and your enemy up.
Yeah.
Strix do the whole blow stuff up better because lethal demise is a way better rule.
Yeah, I just want to be clear. Strix are very good. If you can take them, I think it's worth taking. Putting them in your army. I think the one downside.
I think you need to take 2 units. I think you need to take 2 units.
That's what I did.
That's the only way to screen. You have to screen your important stuff.
Correct. Yep.
You have to have at least 1 turn of buffer where they're fighting Strix.
Yep.
and then you shoot at them or charge them with brute drones or whatever.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. So and the thing that's really good about them is 10 move, fly, so they can get wherever they want to get. If someone has range units that are just pummeling the heck out of you, these things can screen, do this fly around and get there, right? It takes a little bit, but they get there. And the lethal demise just makes it so annoying that when you get there, it's like, cool, you can either attack me and you take damage, or you let me attack you and take damage. So like every game at Captain Con, these guys lived till the end of the game. Like at least one of my units did, which makes no sense. But they just every game they paid themselves off. 100%
insane.
Okay, Vanguard. So Vanguard clones, I think, are both variants are really good. These are the ones that I think most people take, which is the range ones, because you can, as we talked about earlier, put your high clone executioner in there, give them loose, and then they're like really cool, hard to kill range units. So
and fluid formation is the best rule in the game.
Correct. So yeah, so yes, they're only volley 2, but they got five attacks per stand, man.
They can't they? Oh no, superior creations only
just
clash. Okay.
Yeah. But Vanguard gets them there. Fluid formation lets them pivot.
Give them deadly shots.
That's yes. Yep. And they can hang out with the Vanguard high clones. So yeah, I like them. They're good. You'll see them places.
Bound clones. I don't think they're that good. They're kind of men at arms. I don't know, but that you can customize them. Like they are the gentleman's choice. Because force-grown drones, they're cheap, they're light, you can throw masses of them. Yeah. Bound clones are like when you're a discerning gentleman, you want to have a little bit of customization. You want to have your own little spin on the unit. Like, oh, you can bring a ward preceptor, or you can bring an assault preceptor. You can have a defense-oriented or attack-oriented. And they're still your little basic guys, and they're not going to do a whole lot, but... You know,
they do.
Yeah, they're the I want to add an officer model.
They do. The thing is, for 30 points, what you get is 1 extra clash,
1 extra defense, 1 extra attack,
and I think 1 extra resolve. Right? I think they're resolve 1.
I don't think anything in the game is resolve 1. Oh, I've been proven wrong, folks. Can you believe it?
They're support 2 instead of support 1. So
no, force-grown drones are also support 2.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so there you go.
Support 1 doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, because that's whatever.
Come on. Okay.
But hey, who's worried about resolve, man? Anywho, so
hey,
30
one
points.
of us was right. One of us was wrong. 2 different things. We canceled out. We're both equally right and wrong.
30 extra points. They're slightly better stats. Like he said, like Isaac said, I think they're the discerning gentleman's version of the force-grown drone.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really exciting to take because, like, you take the other things because they're cheap and you take a lot of them. If you want something that's going to impact the game, hey, let's move to the next thing, which is a unit that will impact the game. Yes, it's more expensive, but Vanguard clones will kill things dead. This is what I would take.
6 attacks.
So it's 6 move, which is good. It's 6 attacks per stand, which is fantastic. It's got Vanguard, so the turn it comes in, because it's medium, so it's coming in early as turn 2. It's still gonna rocket across the table.
But no support though.
No support. That's true. These are more of a you run an MS.
It's garbage.
They can also take assault and ward preceptors.
Oh, so they're also the discerning gentleman's
Correct.
choice. The evade 2 is pretty good.
The Evade
because
2 is really nice. And
why have 2 defense and shield, which they also do have,
Yes.
when you also have just 2 evasion? That's
So I was running
33% of the time, all the time.
with the ward. Ward precept, which gives them Bastion, and then so if something did,
defense 4.
it would be 2 base, +1 for Bastion, +1 for shield, which is actually like makes them annoyingly hard to kill.
Yeah.
And then when you got a little guy in the background throwing small heals at them, it just makes them really hard to stay in a long battle, because these guys kill. Like, they're not great against very high armored models because they have no AP, but like against normal stuff with just like defense 2 or 3, like 6 attacks per stand is just a lot.
Yeah.
So this cuts through stuff. So I like these guys a lot. I have a bunch of them painted back there. They're cool.
Good. Marksman clones, the Bosun of Spires. They don't have volley 3, but they have pretty much everything else, and 22-inch range and arcing fire. Like Barrage 5, I've said it before, I think, did we do an Ords review?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The Barrage 5 is what I think is really the power of the Bosun, because the ignores defense on 1s is like a meme. In my opinion.
Yeah, they also have the, I think, volley 3, which is a little high.
Yeah,
High number of attacks with.
So
these
like
guys are only
volley 2 is a huge. Volley 2 is a huge decrease in like effectiveness, but you have
arcing fire is really nice because you can get the shots. Yeah, exactly. You can get the shots all over, and 22-inch range is
huge.
Great. And the last thing is, and I know I said this about some models in other armies, is they're medium. They're medium.
Oh, they can
Both are light.
score
So
while they're arcing fire from 32
what I
inches
was gonna
away.
say is they feel like the great when there's an objective and there's a mission where there's an objective or 2 close to your side, you can put them on it and they can still impact the game because 22 and still score you points, right? So like I think that's their big use. I did not run them at Captain Con because I ran a meme list with 2 double Siegebreaker, which we'll talk about. But I actually think these guys are really good, and you should include them in your list with them. They're great objectives in range. So next one. This is Desolation Drones. They are new. They're coming out end of May. I think the models look very cool.
Yep. Everybody hates them stat-wise.
I was gonna say, and I don't think anyone really likes their stats. So for a lot of points, they are medium for the goods and bads that has. They have low volley. No defensive stats of any note. The lethal demise, which I guess if you can get them in close combat, then if someone kills them, they'll take damage. Barrage 3, not great. 12-inch range, not great. The Arm Pierce 1 is cool. Deadly Shots is ones they get through. Torrential Fire, none of this matters. All these are words. The thing that matters that these guys have, no one else has, is the reprocessing agent. And I think if you take it, you believe this will work. And if you don't take it, it's because you don't think they're good. This is what you need. So this is a new special keyword at the end of the regiment's barrage phase, after defense rolls have been made and any wounds have been allocated to the target regiment, that enemy suffers -1 defense characteristics until the end of the round. There's a lot of problems here. Their volley sucks. The range is terrible, right? Like imagine a world where you're shooting something at 12 inches and then you reduce the defense and then something else can actually get there and take it. I don't think that's going to happen often.
You don't think so?
What maybe with the Centaur Avatar, because they got huge movement, but I just feel like by the time you're in the 12-inch range to get shots, like it's gonna be hard to line up that other shot. These don't have arcing fire. Like, do you know what I mean? Like these have to get danger close before you do something, right? Think about the optimal war. The opponent would have to move them at an range, then you would move to be within max of 12 inches, right? So you could shoot them, right? Because if you move within 12 range and then they activate, they're just gonna charge you.
Okay.
I guess then you can charge. So sure, maybe there's a world to do that.
You don't have to hit them. You don't have to do any damage.
No, you do have to do them.
No, you just have to do. You just make attacks.
And any wounds have been allocated.
No, that's telling you the timing.
Oh,
It just says at the end of this regiment's barrage. Then it tells you more specifically the timing. that enemy regiment suffers a -1 to its defense characteristic until
Oh,
the
so you
end
don't
of
even
the
have
round.
to hit. Okay.
So you just you double time move them with a vanguard. Well, probably you don't actually do this, but like you do whatever you can to move them to exactly 12 inches away. You shoot at them. If you do any damage, that's cool. They've got -1 defense. Your Pharaohmancer activates, gives the unit that their force-grown drone wall was closing in on, activates them, uses its action to give that unit -1 defense, does some kind of Pharaohmancy. Character activates into the force-grown drones. Force-grown drones are now charging a unit that has -2 defense. So, hey, those Ashen Dawn, those defense 4 blessed guys, now they're defense 2 blessed guys against your force-grown drones.
Okay.
Hey, cool.
I thought you had to do damage or hit.
No,
or something,
you
so-
don't got to do nothing.
You're right. I was reading
except
rules that don't
for
exist.
aim at them. You don't even have to roll dice if you don't want to.
I don't.
If you think that the rolling dice is going to be a waste of time because it's low volley, low barrage, or whatever,
I'm now on board. They are expensive though. Everyone hates them.
yeah, 170 points is quite a lot for just a -1. I mean, they're mediums. They're doing things. I don't know. 170 points isn't outrageous. Like the way that I'm looking at it is that they are like the basic 105 points for like bodies that exist on the board.
Yes.
And then 65 points for, honestly, if you get within 6 inches, because if you're 12 inches away,
Yeah.
and then the enemy, against an enemy infantry unit that charges,
You got lethal demise too, and lethal demise will hit them, and they'll have -1 defense if you shoot them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually am liking. They are a little expensive, but I.
right.
Yeah.
And you don't, if you put it across from like cavalry, unless you're doing some kind of meme like I was talking about where
Yeah.
Ash and Dawn are now a defense too. But like if you line up against the enemy's Steel Legion or something,
Yeah.
you give them -1 defense, and then the Steel Legion have to make they have to choose between march charging and not clashing you, or then they attempt to charge clash you. They need a 6. They actually can't even from 12 inches away. A movement 5 regiment cannot succeed that charge without any other advantages. So they have to march charge, and then you get a turn of like melee fighting.
And
which
even
is
if they,
crap, but-
even if they impact hit kill you, you're still gonna lethal demise.
but like you're not
Yeah, okay.
like if you send it's your fault if you send desolation drones against something with impact hits, high speed, like impact hits or high speed. It's your fault if you lose them and you go, they're not worth 170 points.
Okay.
No, if you put them 12 inches away against a target that has 5 move, even 6 move, honestly, you could probably
this
go
would
up
be
to like
really good
7
against
moves.
like dragon slayers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and so you reduce their defense. Yeah, it's
Yeah. Okay. I'm on board. I like.
maybe it
yeah.
like I agree that it's probably not worth 170 points, but it's not like this is like the worst unit in the game. It's not unusable. You just have to be smart. Like it's a difficult to use unit, which automatically means that it's probably a bad unit because that's just how Conquest rolls a lot. Like, but if you use it correctly, like there's I dare say a lot of power behind it. You just have to like use it correctly. But then it's also your opponent's job to make you use it incorrectly, to set up situations that aren't favorable for it. So like it's one of those units where like if you outclass your opponent, it will like destroy them probably.
Yeah.
Like you will be able to set it up like they will set up their cavalry to like intercept it every single time. But that's if you're like equal skill or they're better than you. But if you're better than them and you line up this unit against Dragon Slayers or something, they take the charge. They roll a 5. They stumble forward, and now you are just shooting away at your max or at your best range. So you get torrential fire, and the +1 barrage. Like, yeah, that's gonna do a lot of damage between deadly shot, torrential fire, and like I thought they were armor piercing 2.
They're only one.
Honestly, but still
Deadly
armor piercing 1. Yeah. So yeah, we've talked a lot about desolation drones. We've got so many more units to go through. Is there anything interesting to say about onslaught drones?
They are the kit with the I forgot the other drones. So you can build one of the others a dual kit.
Yeah.
I think onslaught drones are better because 5 attacks per stand and line breaker
And built-in burnout. Okay.
built up burnout. So I
Sure.
just built 12 of these guys, so I haven't played them in a game yet. But I think of the kit, these are the more interesting options for everything you just said.
But you can't take your special custom boys. You can only take a catabolic node. You cannot personalize this regiment. Not for discerning gentlemen.
Exactly.
Also, they're drones instead of clones, and clone supremacy. Avatar. I don't have anything interesting to say about Avatara. If you're bringing a lineage highborn, you're bringing Avatara. You have to. Brute drones, they're more expensive than Avatara, and they deserve to be. They're very good. Flurry is a nice rule. 5 attacks, 5 wounds, defense 3, resolve 4, oblivious, built-in unstoppable. They just got all the special rules.
Yeah,
Look
there's
at all that.
There at a lot of events, brute drones have been doing very well.
Yeah,
for
bring
obvious
9
reasons.
stands of them, guys.
They're very good. Yeah. I think the models are cool too, especially for being first gen models. They go together well. They look good. Yeah. Flurry makes that clash 2 not that important.
Yeah.
And if you can get an Inspire or a Charge Off to get that Inspire, that Flurry is doing so much more.
If you use any of your buffs to give even more clash or something, yeah. Leonine Avatara,
Doesn't exist.
Well, they're coming out. Like,
Oh.
they're in the catalog.
Oh, then let's go.
They're
let's
the
go.
ones with armor piercing 2, 2 extra inches of range, deadly shot. Like, these are probably the better version of Desolation drones at this point.
Yeah.
If Desolation drones went down like 10 points, I think that they have a case, maybe even 20 points. 20 points seems like a lot. But like Leonine Avatar, I just feel like they do it.
They got 2
a
extra
lot of
range.
what they do.
Armor piercing 2. They still have. They actually have one of the most important spells or abilities in the game, which
Fluid
is Fluid
Formation. Yeah.
Right. And they're medium, so they can do 2 things. One is they can take the free thing to get the shots, the better shots, right?
Yeah.
Which is really good. And the second thing is they can use that to move, and then slip, and Fluid Formation to grab objectives, right?
Yeah.
These aren't big. These are brutes.
They're
The other
only
ones are
move
not.
6 though, which is pretty bad
Correct. Yeah.
for, doing that trick. But yeah. We're gonna skip
I think they're-
Terraforms. And folks, I just saw, do you see that red? Do you know how earlier we were like, oh, they're bad because they're Clash 2, but in Superior Creations, you can make them Clash 3. Superior Creations is going to make them Clash 4 now?
No, you can't. Class 3 is the maximum. So since they buff them.
Oh, well,
Superior
then,
doesn't
okay.
intersect. You know what? If you made it this far
Okay.
from the top, just don't forget that we said anything about
Yeah.
this in the beginning.
Yeah.
Everyone likes Incarnate Sentinels.
Beefy stats.
Beefy stats. They're the let's call it the Serving Gentleman's.
Wait, they're faster than Leonine Avatara?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
They're 5 attacks, 6 wounds. They're a lot. They're high defense. I mean, evasion was the only thing that's kind of not great. The cleave
Evasion
2 is-
1's fine.
It's exactly.
When you're a
fine.
defense 4, like, you need cleave 3 to even
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
like to meet that.
Yeah.
So like their resolve is their big letdown here, in my opinion.
Yep. Yeah.
But cleave 2, come
Cleave
on.
2. Cleave 2 is super impactful.
Cleave
There's
2,
not a ton of it.
Clash 3, huge.
Oh yeah, and 5 attacks per stand.
Yeah.
Just this thing
Defense
does
4?
Yep.
Come on.
The Impact 3 is pretty tasty. Yep.
And then sell me 6 boxes. You're the Spires player. I don't know if you have any.
I have 2 boxes. I have not built these because they weren't in my Siege Beast list.
Oh,
So I
okay.
have them to build. Yeah. I think this would be an interesting thing to do in what you were talking about, which is defense 4, 6 wounds, get one of the caster characters, Avatar projector them.
You can't do that. Oh, wait. No, I don't. Can buy which caster character can take them in their warband?
I thought it was a Biomancer.
Oh, shoot. Well, there's an appealing kind of thing.
Right.
Give them Aura of Death. Yeah.
That's where I was going. with
Okay.
this. We can
All
do-
right.
And
All
then,
right.
and then you're
You've sold me on it.
you're now in this big unit that can't be easily killed, and if you get stuck in a long game, the enemy is just taking damage.
Yep.
So you mentioned that earlier. The first thing I thought of was Biomancer projecting in an Incarnate
Into a
Sentinel.
6 wound. Yeah.
Yeah,
6
so
wound defense.
I'm with
4,
you.
Resolve 3.
And
The
that
Resolve 3
movement's-
again is like the big letdown.
But if you put down a Biomancer in it, I bet you can probably get upgrades or something to get it higher, right? Use the best
Well,
of the regiment.
just adding a character to it gives it +1
'Cause
just
of the
for
number of
hitting
stands.
4
Yeah.
stands. So that brings you to Resolve 4, which is a little more reasonable, but
And then you can
I don't know.
heal stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. I think Incarnate Sentinels, least hot take in the world, are good.
yeah.
I think the Avatar projection is the hidden juice to give them Aura Death. So I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Prowlers don't exist. Centaur Avatara.
So these are models that I thought were good. So I bought one of them. I haven't assembled. I haven't painted them or anything. But like I thought they were going to be like rip up the meta because like 8 movement and stuff. There was also some shenanigans I think where they waited until like 2 days before they started, or 2 days after they were sold first to update the stats. And I think and they kind of got downgraded a lot. So I think there's a lot of excitement based on some stuff that wasn't fully baked. I don't
But we're talking about them now,
Yeah.
not 3 years ago.
but everyone
Come
was big on these, and I never see them. So like the things I like about them is
They're too hard to get into your army because you have to take a lineage highborn, you have to take Avatara, and then you have to not take Incarnate Sentinels or Siegebreaker
correct, which is
because they're restricted. They're competing.
These are also heavy, which I think the 8 move seems really cool until you realize they're coming earliest third turn. So by the time it's just going to take a while for them to get there. Stats are good: 5 wounds, 5 attacks, decent defense. They got brutal impact, which we love the impact with brutal. Flurry for consistency, fine. It's just I think the Isaac hit it best. They're a lot to get. They're expensive. They're restricted in areas, and it's just like what else you could get for them probably is just going to pay off equally or more in more cases. Abomination. So Abomination, it's a monster. It's very quick. It's not super durable, but it is the fastest monster. The cleave 1 and flurry means its 10 attacks are often going to hit even with the low clash and get a little bit of damage through. Impact's fine. Terrifying 1, good. 150, like it's one of those things. I like running big models, but like it's fine. It's just like I don't think it's
Give it relentless blows. Give it relentless blows and increase it by 10 points.
It's actually funny because we're gonna go look at the Siegebreaker, which is, I was gonna say Desolation based, not out, but like, yeah, for a little bit more points, I think you just get things that impact the game a lot more. So I feel like it's like cheap, but not cheap in the right ways.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a thing. People have the model. Let's talk about Siegebreaker. So my list at Capcom was built entirely around running 2 Siegebreaker behemoths. The change that happened to these guys was up the number of attacks, but lower some of their defensive stats and wounds. Or I think it's the resolve went down 1, but they got 2 wounds. Whatever. They got a few changes to things, and like the big thing that was killing me in that game is they had so few attacks.
They had 8, right?
They had, I think, 8 attacks. So the problem is even though smite means I went right through armor, like if you put 20 guys on me, it just, even with the class 3, it just took so many turns to cut through it that it's like, cool, your MSU held me for 3 turns, so now the game's over because I come in turn 3, turn 5 I get in combat, I'm stuck till 8, game's over, right?
Right.
So I do, and I know it's only 2 extra attacks they got. I do think that does.
It adds up.
It adds up. And
over several turns, it adds up.
And the Resolve 5 was ridiculous because you never took Resolve hits. So I think this is actually just a better game state. So I like these guys to begin with. I think the Brutal Impact is great. The Fearless is great. The Smite is amazing. The Terrifying is another way, especially with the extra attacks where you're getting more Resolve in the long run, is really good. So I think that these guys have just gotten better. Is running 2 of them great? Probably not, but I think as far as a monster in this list, in Spires, they're great, and I like them.
Okay, yeah, I think they're a little expensive for how slow they are, but I think that's my only problem with them is that they're slow.
And this is why I think if you were better with Burnout, knowing when to use it, that's when it gets really interesting because they're big something, and it's like Burnout.
There's a lot of movement shenanigans that you can pull off that if you time them and set them up correctly, like it compensates a little bit for the movement 6. But
I'm gonna say something.
It would be a legitimately good unit at movement 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one thing that I wish. So in general, like I think First Blood has really watered down uninteresting rules from this. Like they take this and they try to like make it work. Siegebreaker is the one unit that is just empirically cooler in First Blood.
Oh, doesn't it have the ability to like burrow down and pop up?
When you start, you can literally just place it someplace else. And if they could create a way of that in the larger game, I think it would be 1, thematic to the model, and 2 would be it would help solve some of the movement shenanigans. So I don't know how you can do that. Para Bellum, please figure out how to bring that cool rule from First Blood into this game without breaking it. Because that is, I think, one of the most thematically cool things. To have this big monster just like burrow out and just attack. Nothing's safe from it because in that game he can go anywhere. But otherwise, like I do agree, he's with that movement. He's expensive. I fall in love with him. He's my kaiju.
You've got 2 of them.
I got 2 of them.
Are they both painted?
I see one. One is painted, not the other one.
The other one is like not painted at all.
I think it might. No, I didn't. I
signed.
No, because I have to put the basin compound in. It's very hard to snake underneath because I glued it to the thing.
Okay. Excuses. All right, we've kind of covered pretty much all of this. The only thing I'll say, I don't think we mentioned what Assault Preceptor does. Ward Preceptor gives Bastion 1. Assault Preceptor gives +1 attack characteristic and the command stand rerolls. Hits, like, has flurry during clash. Those are like the customize your units guys. Catabolic Node is the one that explodes.
They can only use it
drones
once,
have that, but yeah. The cool units have the ability to choose between Assault and Ward Preceptors. The bad units get Catabolic Nodes. The great units get all three.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna call it. So, anyways, that was our review. I hope my coughing is not. I hope in the end result of this, my coughing's not like the most brutal thing ever. Because if one more person comments on our video, the audio quality was terrible or whatever, that hurt my feelings. If you're watching again, it hurt my feelings when we had bad audio that one time and you said that one of us was whispering and the other one was screaming in your ear or whatever. Also, the last guy, this might not be the thing to air in a video, but I'm gonna say it. The trolls got to me. Somebody was like, potato cams in 2024. I think that was actually a Reddit post or something, but we're using good cameras. I don't understand.
This is like S5. I think the issue would have.
This is a cinema quality camera.
Yeah.
They must have had bad internet and it was like in 480p mode or something because they were like potato cam. What are you talking about? Okay. Anyways. Yeah. Engagement is good though. So if you want to call us potato cam having looking,
we read the comments as you can tell.
Yeah.
We read the comments on Reddit as you can tell.
Yeah.
And this video was requested by a commenter saying this should be the next hot take. Let us know. We are running to the end of the hot takes, so we're looking for other video ideas because we do want to do Let's Play. We're tearing up for the new narrative campaign next month.
Yeah, look at all these Steel Legion that Eric Schur is going to lead into battle against some Dwegom. And this is my first test stand of Dwegom going on. I guess not first because I have
the Dragon
6 stands of Inferno Automata and Dragon Slayers. Yeah. Actually, build Dragon Slayers. Build more Dragon Slayers.
Yeah, we have a box back there.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Yeah,
build more of those.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I can do those in a second. Yeah. Anyways.
Thanks for hanging out. See us. We stream Monday, Thursdays on Twitch. We're trying to do new videos every Sunday. Let us know how you like the video and what you want next in the comments. Bye, guys.